nothing says you care like crypto. Nothing can compare. Nothing says you care like crypto. Oh, nothing can compare to crypto.
We've created a generation of narcissistic women. And what's happened is the rise of social media and the rise of online dating and the rise of feminism has taught women that they are not to blame for any poor choices. Every poor choice is glamorized. So if you want to be a sex worker, it's great. If you want to post in bikini pictures online, it's fine. If you want to be in with it, every poor choice is glamorized, and every internal reflection is seen as gaslighting yourself.
Feminism is dying because the rent is due. Women said that we don't need no man. We would rather the bear over a man. But now the rent is due and they are running for the exits and back to the kitchens. Today's video comes from Lynn Everly. Her channel will be linked in the description so that you can go and check her out. Watch to the end of the video to fully understand the implications of women swearing off feminism, saying that they now realize that feminism is a lie, which is quite convenient as we're now heading into a global conflict and extremely hard times. Don't forget to check us out on Rumble. It's linked in description so that you can go and subscribe to us over there, because you never know what will happen on this platform. And now let's just go ahead and jump right into the video.
I used to believe that feminism is a great thing, just like most women, and maybe even most people. But obviously, I changed my mind since I've made multiple videos addressing the dangers of modern feminism. And since it's apparently very uncommon for a woman to be skeptical of feminism, lots of people ask me when I started hating my own kind. Which is a great question. I'm kidding, of course, because being critical of feminism doesn't equal hating women. The fact that I even have to explain this is ridiculous, but unfortunately, it's necessary in the world we live in today. Anyway, in this video, I'm going to tell you why I thought feminism was a good thing, and more importantly, the moment I realized it was all a lie. To give you some context, this is where I live, the Netherlands. I grew up in a very progressive country, so of course, in school, we also got taught about feminism. But when I was a kid, feminism wasn't promoted as extremely as it is now. It was more like men and women are all equal, and women can do everything a man can do. And if you follow me for a while now, then you probably know that I think the last one is debatable, since there are natural differences between men and women. But when I was a kid, this message of women can do everything a man can do really resonated with me because I was such a tomboy. I was always hanging out with boys, getting into mischief, climbing trees, and just doing all kinds of typical boy stuff. I wasn't a stereotypical girl at all, and I didn't like it when people treated me like one. I didn't want to play with dolls, I wasn't into makeup or fashion until I was like 16, and to be completely honest, I'm still not that into it. So I always really envied boys because they got to do all the stuff that I wanted to do. At the same time, I was also a very sensitive and empathetic child, which are often seen as more feminine traits, but there wasn't too much room for that because my father always pushed me very hard in school and in sports. He really wanted me to be successful, and he almost kind of treated me like I was his firstborn son. And therefore, when I was younger, I used to be extremely ambitious. I wanted to have a very successful career and make lots of money. And I wanted to do all of that while being on a national field hockey team as well. And while doing all of that, I also thought I could be a great mother, because that is what I saw on TV. And not only on TV, of course, because there is feminist indoctrination everywhere. The stories of today are almost always based on a strong female character. A girl who has to make it in a male-dominated world. And she always has such a disadvantage just because she's a girl, but she ends up succeeding anyway, despite all odds. And when it comes to romantic stories, it's always the girl who challenges the guy that she likes. And that's what makes him fall in love with her. But what did that teach me? Basically that I need to have a successful career in order to be respected by society, and that I need to go around challenging the guys that I like in order to find true love. And those were actually my beliefs as a teenager. But that's the complete opposite of how I think about those things now. And it all goes back to a very specific moment when I was 16 that completely changed my mind about feminism and my beliefs. You see, my parents' relationship had already fallen apart by then. They were divorced. And the funny thing is that I actually come from quite a traditional household where my dad was mostly the breadwinner and my mom, she worked part-time to take care of the kids. But they had a very toxic relationship and they didn't respect each other at all. And I don't want to go too much into detail about that on the internet. But I saw the relationship and I thought, never in my life do I want such a horrible relationship with someone. And on top of that, I wasn't popular at all in school, also not with guys, and I also got bullied, and I was actually quite depressed as a teenager. I just remember thinking, my life really sucks. But around that time, I also discovered self-development content on YouTube. And I was especially interested in relationship stuff because I never really had a good example of what a healthy relationship is supposed to look like. And by accident, I came across this pickup artist YouTube channel. He was a Dutch guy giving dating advice to men. And you know, I was kind of curious what kind of advice men get. So I watched a few of his videos, and to be honest, I was kind of shocked in the beginning because he kind of talked about women like they're objects, which I really didn't like. But the content was all about how to make women respect you and how to approach them in nightclubs and stuff, which is, by the way, the worst place to meet someone, in my opinion, if you want to meet a high-quality person at least. I don't think you're going to find that in a nightclub. But the main thing I realized from watching his content understand is that men almost don't care at all about your career or about how much money you make. And what I also realized is how hard it is for a guy to actually approach a woman and deal with rejection. Because my god, that stuff is just ruthless. And this is something that most women just don't realize. Because we usually don't have to deal with rejection from guys to that degree. And where you almost have to fight for a woman to even notice you. Not to say that women don't deal with rejection, but it's a different kind of rejection. Usually later on when the woman realizes that the guy is actually not that serious about her. And I'm not saying that's necessarily always better, because that can also really emotionally damage you, but it's a different kind of rejection.
So, guys, this holiday season, Angry's Crypto Academy is running a Christmas promo to help you start 2025 strong. From now until December 31st, you can get 20% off annual paid subscriber plans. And the bootcamp membership is also 20% off. If you've been waiting to level up your crypto game, now's the perfect time to invest in yourself. Click the link in the description below, grab your membership, and let's make 2025 your best year yet. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you inside the academy. You see, guys, what men go through in this world is substantially different than what women experience. Women basically live life on easy mode. They're basically handed everything when they are born, or rather, when they turn 18, they're given a credit card and they become millionaires, and everything is essentially for free. For men, it's different. Society lets us know right away if we suck. Society lets us know right away, if we have any shortcomings, and we have to basically then go and work on those shortcomings, and we have to grind and earn everything in our lives. Typically, nothing is handed to us. Everything is earned. While for women, at least in their earlier years, everything is handed to them. And for most of their lives, everything is handed to them. As men, it's hard. It's really, really hard. And the truth is that in Western society, women are conditioned not to like men. They are conditioned to HATE us. By the time a woman is 7 years old, her personality is really set in stone. By the time a woman is in her early 20s, her brain development is almost complete. Now, don't get me wrong, the brain is still developing potentially well into our 30s. But in terms of substantial development, a lot of the core development within the brain is already done. Those neural pathways have been formed, and their behavior is not going to change because they have been raised on these ideals. You have to realize that I have a lot of you guys who will talk about cooking on the channel, and you'll talk about all the great meals you're going to make and so forth. Oh, Angry, I'm going to go and grill up some steaks. Oh, Angry, I'm going to make chicken Alfredo. Oh, Angry, I'm going to make this and this and this. It's very normal for men to talk about the kinds of meals that they're going to be preparing and what they're eating and all of these things. Modern women, it's not very normal because modern women, they view cooking as a form of servitude. They view it as as if you tell a woman to cook, she views it as you telling her to be an SLAVE. It's a form of SLAVERY. That's how women view these things, and they'll tell you straight off the bat that that's what it is. You have to also understand they don't like us. When someone likes you, they don't treat you poorly. They appreciate you and they celebrate you. This is the reason why, the passport kings often say, go where you are appreciated, go where you are celebrated, and not simply tolerated. Do not simply go somewhere. Do not simply go where you're needed and endure. Do you know who says something like that? A simp. These are men who destroyed society. Women don't really fathom, they don't even comprehend just how dangerous the simp is. Because women have acted as predators towards men in society for decades now, tearing them down and using them for basically just about everything you can imagine, including entertainment. Simps are the same way, just in a different way. Simps pretend to be nice guys. They pretend to be caring and kind and compassionate. The reality is that a simp is a super predator. A simp is an opportunist. Women think that they are finding liberation with a simp. They are not finding liberation with weak men. All right? The very concept of being a CUCK comes from the simp. And you have to understand that simps are degenerates. These are degenerate individuals. A masculine man would not find it typically enjoyable to watch the person that their partner being physically intimate with someone else. The simp, on the other hand, encourages this type of behavior while they observe and then self gratify themselves to this. Who does something like that? That's a degenerate. Okay, and I'm not saying that different people don't have different quirks, but as a whole, the simp is a degenerate. The simp has very much led women down a path of destruction, encouraging them to go into behaviors and actions that are degenerate and self-destructive, and while telling them that it's liberating for their own amusement and entertainment and personal gain. The simp the simp is demonic. The simp has the Jezebel spirit within it. I once said the Sims are traitors. And there was a simp who responded who said that I was ever on your side. They know who they are. These are terrible individuals. These are horrible people. They are no good at all. And now you have women who are waking up and realizing that, hey, things did not work out the way we thought they were going to work out. We're now in really we're in a lot of trouble. We're in a lot of trouble because, the rent is due and we can't pay it. The rent is due and we don't have the check. We can't pay the check. You see, guys, everyone is a feminist until the rent is due. Everyone is for women's liberation until the rent is due. Women are heading into a period of time that it's going to of extraordinary hardship with high inflation and stagnating wage growth. Right now, what we are likely experiencing is stagflation. Do not expect Trump to come in and fix everything overnight. It doesn't happen like that. We are going to have a sustained period of hardship as programs are being cut. What you saw in Argentina, I believe in many ways is what you're going to see in the United States. And all of those programs that women rely upon are going to disappear. But guess what's interesting? Men pay 80% of all taxes. Women make 80% of all consumer purchases. So Trump right now he wants to scrap the IRS. He wants to scrap the income tax. He wants to get rid of all of these things and basically use tariffs to cover the cost of everything. For the average man, a tariff is a great thing in the sense that, sure, we'll have to pay more for everything. So, I have a OnePlus Nord, OnePlus Nord N30. This is like a $300 phone. I love it. So maybe I'll go up to $600, or $500. Okay. Because you get it for like $250 sometimes. So maybe the cost of the phone will double. Oh, well, because guess what? If I don't have to pay income taxes, this is a one-time purchase for me. All of these are one-time purchases for me. Sure, the cost of maybe the cost of a graphics card might go up. Oh, well, let me ask you something. When the banks collapse, and trust me, it's coming, will you be ready? Imagine waking up to ATMs that don't work, bank doors chained shut, and millions of people left with nothing. No cash, no access to their savings, and no way to survive. But it doesn't have to be that way for you. That's why I created Angry's Crypto Academy, to teach you everything you need to know about crypto so you can protect yourself and your family. You'll learn how to buy, sell, and even day trade crypto for a living. Plus, we alert you to new crypto trends so you can profit before everyone else even knows what's happening. Right now, I've just published an exclusive investment guide inside the Academy, and it's linked in the description below. In it, I reveal the one coin that could make you a millionaire. A coin so revolutionary, it could change everything. If you missed out on Bitcoin and Ethereum, this is your second chance. This isn't just about financial freedom. It's about survival. When the system collapses and everyone else is selling, you'll be the one buying, prepared to weather the storm and thrive while others struggle to survive. Don't wait. This knowledge isn't optional, it's critical. The link's in the description. Go check it out now.
But watching this dating advice for guys really changed my perspective on relationships. Because I honestly didn't know what kind of struggles men had. I mean, I was 16, so I probably didn't really know anything about life, but still. And I kind of felt betrayed, you know, as if I was finding out that Santa isn't actually real. So yeah, that really made me start my learnings about female and male relationship dynamics. Because I was very much aware of the fact that everything I'd learned about relationships up until that point was completely wrong. Either from my parents, from school, or from TV. And from that moment, I almost made it my life's mission to not fall into the trap of a miserable marriage. And I've learned so much from basically just watching YouTube videos. Not from pickup artists, by the way, but from more legit psychologists and dating experts. But I think it's very funny that pickup artist content was actually my first wake-up call that modern feminism is actually very toxic. And I was lucky to realize that very early on in my life, because I was only 16 and I hadn't really dated anyone yet, so it was before a lot of damage could be done. The funny thing is that I actually get a lot of comments from people who think that my parents were just amazing and that they taught me all of this stuff, but the complete opposite is true. My motivation for learning about relationships came from a very deep desire to not repeat my parents' mistakes. And I have to say, it worked out great for me because I actually found love. But if I hadn't done all of that work, I'm pretty sure that I would have gone down a much darker path. And that dark path is actually a reality for lots of women. And for men, of course, but in a different way. Just because people don't know any better. And I would never claim that feminists are bad people. Feminists have just absorbed what their society tells them is true. And you can't blame people for wanting to be part of the culture they were born into. And of course, in the end, we're all responsible for our own actions and for fixing our own lives. Which I personally try to do as much as I can. At the end of the day, I'm just someone who's trying to figure out life just like you. I just want to share the insights I've gathered along the way.
That's a one-time purchase for me. All right. So we basically get to keep more of our income, meaning, and as a man, we can live happily in a shoebox at the side of the road. Women can't do that. So as a result of that, we're going to have more disposable income under Trump than at any other time, while women are going to have fewer options because women are more likely to rely on social services than men. Men pay 80% of all taxes, women make 80% of all consumer purchases. So with all that tax revenue now gone and the state no longer funneling our wealth and resources to women through through grants and charities and all this other stuff and all this other stuff, and using men to subsidize the living of women anymore, and reforms for things like Medicare, WIC, SSI, and all of that, programs that women heavily rely on, they're going to be in extreme misery, and they're going to be going through an extraordinary point of poverty and destitution because men are naturally minimalist. Women are not. Men don't need much to survive and be happy. Women need everything plus the kitchen sink, and even that's not enough. The truth is that they need constant change to keep, to keep them happy because, to keep giving them regular dopamine hits. It's a sad state of affair, but it's very, very true. What's crazy is that so many women today think that men are absolutely useless. But the second that things go downhill, the second that they realize that, hey, the rent is due, I can't pay the bills anymore, I'm in trouble and I need help, that's when they begin walking away. And the thing is, feminism will never go away. I said this years ago. I said this maybe almost 10 years ago at this point, that while the label feminism might go away, the legacy of feminism will live on. And feminism never truly goes away. It goes underground. It remains active in circles until it comes back with a resurgence. So even if feminism became, a negative thing within society and it was not actively discussed openly in society anymore, it wouldn't be all peaches and cream. It would remain there, active in the underground, waiting to, waiting to pop its head back up again. That's the honest to goodness truth. It's never going to go away. It's the reason why is because of the way society is structured. You have to have a society where men are celebrated and appreciated and celebrated. I remember hearing a story about in Africa, in this African country, and in Africa, it's common where if a woman rejects a man, she does not do it harshly. She does it gently so that she does not discourage him. Because even if she does not want him, he is still necessary for society. Because a country without its men is not a country. A country without its men is a wasteland. And if you discourage your men, what they will do is walk away from society. And when men abandon their society, everything collapses. Women's rights, they collapse. Women's freedom, women's opportunity. Men are not only the gatekeepers of society, we are the gatekeepers of prosperity. We're the gatekeepers of everything. We're the gatekeepers of reproduction. It's because women have taken on a masculine role why they believe that they can pick and choose from men, where historically it was men who picked and choose from women. And now the role reversals are coming. This time, however, it's different. We're entering into a state of the mouse utopia where men are losing interest in reproduction, in relationships and dating because they view them as negative, and they view them as burdening. More and more men are waking up and realizing and saying, "Hey, not only is the juice not worth the squeeze, it never was. I can live a relatively happy and comfortable life without being in a relationship. I can basically work less, save more, invest more, and then I'll have more money in the long term." If you're a man who does not get married, does not have children, you don't have multiple mouths to feed. As a result of that, you can have a guy who only makes something like $20,000 a year working at fast food, and he has a substantial amount of money because he may live with family or he lives in a place where his cost of living is low. I've heard from these people. I have heard from these people who basically only make like $22,000 a year, and they're living great lives. One guy said he was making like only like 20 something $1,000 a year. He had like $5,000 saved. He was spending $800 a month on video games, and he was living his best life. And of course, he's a young guy. He's just starting out. But most Americans today don't have anything saved. They can't even put $500 together. There's a saying that you should have somewhere between 3 and 5 months rent, or not even rent, 3 to 5 months live expenses covered. So, for example, you should be able to pay your bills for 3 to 5 months, and you should have that amount of money saved at any given moment. Most people today don't have that. Most Americans don't. They're basically living paycheck to paycheck and doom spending. Very, very hard times are coming, which is one of the reasons why, guys, I've said you should be investing in crypto. A lot of, one guy actually said in my comments, and I respect him for saying it. He said that the truth is, I just have to admit, crypto is I'm not capable of doing crypto, you know? And I respect that. Honestly, now to be very honest with you, that I get it that, you know, in a way, how do I put this? I believe everyone should be investing in crypto. And in the academy, we teach you everything you need to know about investing in crypto, the ABC. So if you know even nothing, we will hold your hand and teach you over in the academy, which is linked in the description of the video, Angry's Crypto Academy. But at the same time, I get it that there's some people who are just like, bro, I can't do it. I mentally can't do it. I can't learn anymore. There are just some people who are dumb and are just either they're too dumb, and I hate to say it like this, but it's true. They're either too dumb, or they just don't have the motivation or the drive to actually get something done, to push forward. Maybe it could be somewhere where they are in life or whatever, but I get it. And I think that people who go down this path, like, they're kind of accepting that, hey, yeah, man, I'm just cooked. I am absolutely cooked, and there's not much I can do about it, and I'm just gonna have to live with that reality that I'm screwed, and that's it. Guys, if you think you've missed the boat on Bitcoin, think again. The crypto world is exploding with new opportunities. And while Bitcoin has already made its millionaires, there's still a chance for you to get in early on the next big wave. I've put together an exclusive guide on 4 altcoins that could change the game and change your financial future. These aren't just hype coins. These are real projects with groundbreaking technology and massive upside potential. This is your chance to get in before they hit the mainstream. But listen, crypto isn't just about getting rich, it's about freedom. Freedom from traditional banks, freedom from government-controlled money, and freedom to take back control of your life. That's why I created Angry's Crypto Academy. When you join the academy, you'll learn everything you need to know about cryptocurrency, how to buy, sell, and trade the right way, how to spot the coins that can truly take off, and how to use crypto to achieve real economic freedom. And here's the best part. When you subscribe, you'll get a free copy of my crypto blueprint. This is packed with valuable tips and strategies to help you get started, and it's yours just for joining. The link is in the description below. Don't wait around and miss another opportunity like Bitcoin. Those who act now will be the ones who win big. So if you're ready to take back control of your finances and start your journey to freedom, join Angry's Crypto Academy today. Let's make it happen.
We've created a generation of narcissistic women. And what's happened is the rise of social media and the rise of online dating and the rise of feminism has taught women that they are not to blame for any poor choices. Every poor choice is glamorized. So if you want to be a sex worker, it's great. If you want to post in bikini pictures online, it's fine. If you want to be with it, every poor choice is glamorized. And every internal reflection is seen as gaslighting yourself. So they've even got terms for internal reflection to prevent it happening. And so what will happen is they are trained to not reflect on themselves because we've been told we've been oppressed for so many years. Now it's time to make sure we project. And so we don't take any accountability. And as a result, when we get into relationships, if we don't feel completely soothed all the time, he must be a narcissist. He must be a manipulator. He must be gaslighting. He, rather than I. And unfortunately, we've got an online market that caters to that wounded woman, that caters to that entitled woman, and caters to that narcissistic woman. And it's so wild to me that so many women talk about narcissism, but the society today is just catering to narcissistic women.
One thing is certain, however, a lot of men are going to get very wealthy in this coming crisis that we're going to see. And a lot of women are going to fall into extraordinary states of poverty and destitution because no one is going to bail them out. And some of you are like, it'll never happen. Women will always be bailed out. Some of you are doing it because you genuinely think that women can never fall from grace. Others are just gaslighting. You damn well know that bad times are coming, but you're never going to admit to it because, you're going to, just like women have been gaslighting men for ages, you're going to gaslight them. And even as it goes downhill, you'll continue gaslighting because not only do you genuinely not care or are you indifferent, but it's almost like a form of spite, like you'll never admit to it. And it's really just how it is. It's really, really just how it is. And modern women are the ones who put themselves in this situation as a result of the bad decisions that they've made. You have to realize women were spoon-fed this narcissism. So it's not going to really work out for them. It's going to be very, very difficult for them to change their ways. It's going to be very, very difficult for them to reflect. And it's not going to happen because they have masculine energy. They mentally, they are now masculines. So their feeling is like, well, I'm supposed to get whatever I want. They do not like men. And they have been taught to despise men. They've taught to dislike men. They cannot suddenly wake up and one day say now they want to be with a man because it's not going to happen. They were not raised to be feminine women. They were not raised to complement masculinity. They were raised to be masculine themselves. If you listen to the video earlier, this woman said that her father, he pushed her to do all of these things. But the problem is that, and this is why I've said a lot of these men messed up because they raised their daughters like they would raise sons. And it's not good. You should be focusing less on while you should encourage your daughter to be successful and functional in the real world. Her power really comes from her femininity. Femininity is a superpower, just like masculinity is a superpower. Smart women, like Donald Trump's first wife, Ivana, she said that she would get what she wanted when she worked in business. She did an interview and she talked about this. She would get what she wanted using her femininity. She knew how to get what she wanted using femininity. Modern women don't know anything about this. They don't comprehend the power that comes with the feminine. Okay?
Apparently, we don't need men anymore.
You need men?
No.
No?
No.
Why?
Because
we can be strong, independent women.
Now, just stating the obvious here, these women are very drunk, and as you can see, that brings out the worst in people.
Nobody needs men!
But I have to admit, I've been in situations where women were completely sober and they were still talking about men like they are trash. To prove my point, here's a video of women who aren't drunk.
My husband, it takes a village of women to make sure that he's not emaciated, starving, and living in his own filth.
Broadly speaking, I feel like men have proven largely useless.
I mean, how did we even get to a point in history where so many women don't even recognize the value that men bring to the table? Well, throughout most of human history, men and women came together out of necessity. People complain a lot about how bad things are nowadays, but life used to be a lot harder. A lot of people were poor and barely getting by. And if you don't have anything yourself, you need other people. You had to form strong relationships just to survive. But nowadays, we've got so much luxury in the Western world and institutions where you can go to for help. And as a consequence, we need other people less. I mean, of course, we still need other people, but not as directly as we used to. And since most women also have jobs now, they don't need men to take care of them like they used to. Men and women don't really come together anymore because they need to. The only reason for them coming together now is because they want to. But when they also don't want to be together, there is really nothing left. And I only have to take one look at my own comment section to know how bad the situation really is. Comments about how it's too late, how dating sucks, and how men think living in a cave surrounded by other men and owning a fancy car is better than getting married. And honestly, this is just the tip of the iceberg. I've seen way worse comments under other videos. There are a lot of men who have just completely given up on dating because they think it's not even worth it. And a lot of men just pretend they have stopped caring about it altogether. But of course, this is just a coping mechanism because who are we fooling here? You can tell yourself that all you like, but it must really hurt to feel like you're not needed or to not have a sense of purpose. But the interesting thing is that men aren't the only ones who feel like giving up.
I don't know, I've had really bad luck. So everything. Like, I've been treated like shit.
And this is something I hear a lot from women. They also feel like men have treated them badly. And I think there's one very important reason for this. I've discussed this in a video before, but women tend to want men who are at the top of the food chain. So these top men have a lot of options, which makes them less likely to settle for just one woman. And I'm just guessing here, but I think this girl has dated one of these guys where she was just one of many, which is why she feels like this. As a result of this, both men and women feel like they're treated like trash by the other sex. Women feel like they don't have to settle for anything less than they deserve, because they can take care of themselves, because most women have a job. Which can definitely also be a good thing, because I also wouldn't want to be trapped in a marriage that I don't want. But feeling like you have a ton of options can also make you not settle for anyone ever, and then you die like a crazy old cat lady. And thank God there are also women who do see a man's value, and they make videos like this.
Any of you girls want to use equal pay to sign up for this job?
And that's why I've like disagreed with Soraya in the sense that she's going to reform these women. No, she's just going to take their money. She's just going to take their money when, like, if Soraya wants to do the whole thing, go girl, get your money, girl. But no, you're not going to teach these women how to be feminine. These women don't like men. They do not like us. They are not raised to be wives. They view cleaning as SLAVERY. As soon as they are in a relationship, they will change. Even if they learn how to cook and they start trying to do these things, it's not genuine. And they will resent the man that they are cooking for. They will detest the man that they are cooking for. They will never like him. All right. That's how they were not raised to love their father, to love men. They were conditioned to despise them and to believe that they were special and they are powerful victims and men are pathetic villains. So there's not going to be any real recourse to this other than these women are going to find themselves in increased states of poverty and destitution and hardship. And it's all because of the choices that they've made. It's all because they said that, we're going to go down this path. And let me tell you something. It's a path. It is a horrible path. It's a path of destitution. It's a path poverty. It's a path of narcissism. It is no good. But I'm not going to I'm not going to cry for them. I'm not going to say, "Hey ladies, hey, we're here to comfort you." No, you chose this nightmare for yourself, and now you're going to have to deal with this nightmare reality that you've brought onto yourself. Okay? The world is a harsh place, and they're going to have to go find they're going to they're going to have to go basically hang out with Yogi and Boo Boo. They can find the woods and go hang out with Yogi and Boo Boo. And that's really it, because men are not going to be there to catch them. Men are not going to be there to comfort them. Men are not going to be there at all. Let me ask you something. When the banks collapse, and trust me, it's coming, will you be ready? Imagine waking up to ATMs that don't work, bank doors chained shut, and millions of people left with nothing. No cash, no access to their savings, and no way to survive. But it doesn't have to be that way for you. That's why I created Angry's Crypto Academy, to teach you everything you need to know about crypto so you can protect yourself and your family. You'll learn how to buy, sell, and even day trade crypto for a living. Plus, we alert you to new crypto trends so you can profit before everyone else even knows what's happening. Right now, I've just published an exclusive investment guide inside the Academy, and it's linked in the description below. In it, I reveal the one coin that can make you a millionaire. A coin so revolutionary, it could change everything. If you missed out on Bitcoin and Ethereum, this is your second chance. This isn't just about financial freedom. It's about survival. When the system collapses and everyone else is selling, you'll be the one buying, prepared to weather the storm and thrive while others struggle to survive. Don't wait. This knowledge isn't optional, it's critical. The link's in the description. Go check it out now.
But it's crazy to me that it's even necessary to make these kinds of videos to prove to women that we do actually need men. So if you are a man watching this, we do need you. And if any woman says otherwise, she's just brainwashed and she has no idea what she's talking about. Men today are 4 times more likely to kill themselves than women. Yeah, you can play that back if you want, I was also shocked by it. But when men try to say that they also have issues, then society just tells them to suck it up and that they're privileged and that it's probably all their own fault. I mean, I'm all for encouraging people to take responsibility for their own lives, but this is just really harsh and not the way to go about it. Men have feelings too, and we should take them just as seriously as women's feelings. There are actually some really serious problems affecting men. For example, men and boys are behind in education on pretty much every level. I mean, it's pretty obvious that the system today is serving women more than men. And we can't just say it's all their fault. We weren't doing that with women either when the system wasn't serving them. At least, not in recent history. And I'm not going to pretend to know how to fix all of these problems, but I do know we have to acknowledge these problems first, and that is not even happening right now. Which honestly breaks my heart a little bit, because most of the men in my life are freaking awesome, and I don't think they deserve all of the hate that they're getting right now. But yeah, I guess if you don't fit into the culture that you're living in, you have to try and create your own culture.
Men are done. The MGTOWs basically won this one, and they did it simply by, just letting women take over, carry the baton forward, because all they have to do is men just have to go online and see the horrible things that are being said about men. Men are being told that they need to obey. Look at, and it's ridiculous. Who wants to live like this? Guys, if you have responsibility without authority, that makes you an SLAVE. It's the truth. It's the truth. It's sad and it's pathetic, but it's the truth. And this is what women have done. This is what women have now done. and they've done this to men. You know, and guys, back during the days of SLAVERY, I would argue that some things were better for men. I'm not saying that it was a good thing, but just hear me out. You know, and keep in mind, it was not, you know, in terms of being an SLAVE, it's not just a black thing. White men made up the largest number of SLAVEs throughout history. The truth is, though, at least back then in those days, you know, regardless if it was in America or the Europe or whenever it occurred, you were not gaslit into believing that you were privileged. You were privileged, more privileged than than your master. Okay, and you were the villain, and the master was the victim. Can you? That's where we live today, where women have been made into the superior, and they are basically operating in a from the superior position, believing they are the masters. We are the SLAVEs, but then at the same time, we are told how privileged we are, and we are born with a golden spoon or a silver spoon in our mouths. And if we fail, then wow, we really messed up. So they take everything for themselves. They leave us with nothing. They rob us for everything that we have. And then we're punished for everything that we do and everything that we don't. It's a horrific state of narcissism that has been inflicted upon us. I just shake my head. I literally shake my head. And this is what's happened in Western society, and yet women will try to gaslight men and act like they don't know what's going on now. I told you guys, when everything started going downhill, you're going to have a lot of women who are going to run away from feminism, and they're going to, if you ask them, are you a feminist? They're going to say, Fema what? Fema who? Fema. Is that a new song? Is that a new dance? Did you mean Fema camp? I've heard of those places. I don't want to go there. They're terrible. No, I've always been more of a girly girl. You know, I want to be a wife and a mother. I love Jesus, and I love Jesus and girly things, you know? Like I love to cook, I love to clean, and you know, and I absolutely love men. Get the heck out of here, y'all. And these are going to be the hardcore women who are liberated and everything else now spouting this, guys. What do you guys think? Feminism is dying because the rent is due. Let me know your thoughts. We'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. And cheers.
Nothing says you care like crypto. Nothing can compare. Nothing says you care like crypto. Oh, nothing can compare to crypto.